Toad is overall a pretty well-known character, and today we're going to be looking at how the plushes have changed over the years of him. And well, throughout the 1990s, there really weren't many Toad plushes that were made at all, and there's very few to actually go over. Now, this Toad plush released by Band Presto is either the first Toad plush or one of the first Toad plushes. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, this plush is overall really old, and well, for one of the first ever Toad plushes, it actually looks pretty good. And well, for the time when this plush was released, it actually looked pretty accurate, besides the fact that Toad has no pupils. But besides that, they pretty much got every detail on this plush correct because, well, but overall it just looks really nice. Everything on this plush is correctly shaped except for like the arms because, well, they just seem to be super short and they really only seem to just have the hands and not really like the arm part. But besides that, the rest of the plush is pretty accurate, and the jacket is made out of felt, so that could get damaged, and well, but does be inaccurate of today's standards Toad, but at the time this was Toad's standard design for his coat. But yeah, the face is probably the worst part about this plush because it has lack of details on it. It's supposed to have pupils instead of just having, like black eyes. So yeah, besides that, the rest of the plush is overall really good. And well, for the time, is overall a pretty good Toad plush, and I would definitely recommend getting it if you could find it. And well, moving on, we have the Totara Super Mario Kart Toad plush. Now, this one came in a plastic cart that actually rolls, so yeah, this is overall a really unique Toad plush because no other Toad plushes are like this. Now, but just a super cool feature about these plushes to have a cart, but it could get damaged over the years because the cart is made out of plastic, so yeah, some parts could fall off. And for the Toad plush itself, it overall looks pretty okay. Some details on it could be improved, like the face, because, well, the details on the face could get easily damaged, and they're also inaccurate. Because, well, the mouth could fall off because it's made out of an iron-on material, and it also get cracked really easily, and same thing with the eyes. The red spots on Toad's head could also get damaged because they're made out of a felt material and they're only glued on, so they could technically fall off, but I don't really see that happen too often. And well, the hands could get unstitched from the steering wheel over time, and that could get damaged really easily, so yeah, overall a lot of details on this plush could get damaged, but overall it just looks really nice, especially if you keep it in good condition. And now moving on to another Band Presto Toad plush, we have this one, which just seems to be a smaller version of the other one, except it was released many years later. I don't really have much to say because it basically has all the exact same details, but in my opinion this was just worse because, well, there's more details that could get damaged. Such as, well, the red spots on Toad's head are made out of a felt material and they're obviously glued on, so yeah, that could fall apart really easily, especially because the glue used on these keychains just weren't really good for some reason. And well, his coat could also get really easily damaged, and it actually seems to be a bit oversized for him because, well, it seems that they didn't really shrink the coat enough on this version of the plush, so yeah, it overall just looks really weird. But yeah, it just seems to be a keychain version of the other one, except it was just released many years later, so yeah, it's overall just a really strange plush that I don't really know why it exists. Because I don't really think it came with a set, and I just think that Band Presto just kind of released it randomly, so yeah, it's overall just kind of a weird Toad plush that exists. Now moving on to a more well-known Toad plush, we have the BD&A Toad plush. Now this one's actually more accurate than the others because, well, it actually has pupils in the eyes, which actually makes the eyes a bit better, but yeah, it is still easily damageable though because the eyes are made out of an iron-on material. But besides that, these Toad plushes are actually pretty good because, well, they're made out of pretty good materials besides the normal sizes because, well, they are made out of like a beanbag material, so yeah, it could get understuffed that way. But yeah, overall, these Toad plushes were accurate for their time, and they actually look pretty good, and they come in a keychain size and a normal size. And well, honestly, they're overall just a pretty good plush for their time. The head is a little weird, though, because it is kind of just facing up for some reason, and it could look straight instead, but yeah, besides that, the rest of the plush is actually just really good. And well, this was actually the first design of the Toad plush because, well, for some reason they decided to change it to the other one, and in my opinion, the first design is actually just slightly weirder, in my opinion, because, well, for some reason, Toad has legs, which just obviously isn't accurate at all, so yeah, that's probably why they changed it. It also has an outline around the mouth, so yeah, it overall just seems to be a stranger version of the Toad plush, and it's also slightly bigger than the normal size of the Toad plush. And well, this version is actually slightly more rare as well. And well, for many years after the BD&A plush, there weren't really any other Toad plushes until like 2002 when Play by Play released their Toad plush. And well, a lot of people know about this Toad plush just for its weird appearance. Because, well, this Toad plush overall just looks really weird for the time, and yeah, it comes from a set of Mario plushes that just overall look really weird, so yeah, it's a pretty interesting looking Toad plush. And well, since these plushes were arcade prizes, they come in tons of sizes, so yeah, they could come from being like only like a 10-inch size all the way up to multiple feet tall. And there's actually one huge one on eBay right now for like $150, but I probably wouldn't recommend paying that because, well, it's overall just really expensive. But yeah, some details on this plush could get easily damaged, such as the eyes, because they're made out of a plastic material and they could get easily chipped. And well, the coat could also fall off, and same thing with the hands because, well, they could all get unstitched, so the hands could get unstitched from the body and the coat could as well. And well, for some reason on the shoes, they use this like iron-on material that could crack really easily over the years and get damaged. So yeah, obviously that's not a good thing about this plush, but besides that, it's overall a pretty nice looking plush. And well, especially for the play-by-play set, it's one of the better plushes in that set. But yeah, if you do want this plush, it will be quite expensive and also really hard to find because well, these plushes are just kind of rare. And up in the same year, the company Sega Prize released this Blue Toad plush. Now this was released for the game Super Mario Sunshine. It was the first ever Blue Toad plush before Blue Toad was even like a main character. And well, this plush was used more as a display piece, as you can tell, because well, but sitting down, it's overall just really big compared to any other normal size Mario plush. So these Mario plushes, especially like throughout the whole set, are just meant to be display pieces, so they're overall just really detailed. And while looking at this plush, I can really find no inaccuracies about it, besides the shoes not having soles on them, and also the jacket could get unstitched from the body, but besides that, this plush is actually really good and overall just really accurate. And the whole plush is just stuffed really well, and it's overall just a really good Toad plush, but it is still really expensive because, well, these plushes are just extremely rare because of how old they are. And it also seems that the set was pretty obscure and didn't get released that much, so yeah, it's overall just a really obscure set that's really expensive. And now moving on to one of the most well-known Toad plushes, being the Mario Party 5 Toad plush. Now this was Sinead's first ever Toad plush, and it overall just looks really good in my opinion. And really, the only inaccuracy about it is that for some reason the mouth is like a tannish color, so yeah, besides that, the rest of the plush is overall really good. And well, basically everything about this plush is accurate, except for like the shoes not having soles on them, but besides that, the rest of the plush is overall pretty good, and the really only bad thing about it is that the coat could get unstitched from the body. But yeah, it's overall still a really nice Toad plush that isn't actually that expensive compared to other Mario Party 5 plushes, as it seems that Toad is just like a less popular character, so he sells for a lot less money like other plushes in a set like Luigi. Because well, the Mario Party 5 Toad plush usually only sells for around $60 to $70, and that's when you could find them on like eBay and Mercari, and that's still in good condition, while other plushes in a set sell for hundreds. So yeah, if you do want a plush from the Mario Party 5 plush set, this is probably the cheapest one that you could get. But yeah, overall, for its time, it's one of the best Toad plushes that were made, and it's definitely a really good one, especially for Sinead's first ever Toad plush. And moving on, we have the Gosh Toad plush, which is basically an exact copy of the Mario Party 5 Toad plush. As well, Gosh's entire plush is basically just a full copy of the Mario Party 5 plush made by Sinead. So yeah, basically every single plush in this set looks the exact same to the Mario Party 5 one, and Nintendo still approved of it because, well, these are official. So basically, this Toad plush made by Gosh is basically an official knockoff of the other one because, well, these ones are just more cheaply made and obviously just kind of look worse. And really, the only difference about the two is that the Gosh one is just slightly a different size and also is made out of some worse materials because they were cheaply made. But yeah, it's overall just a really weird plush that's basically an official knockoff of Sinead's. Now moving on to 2009, we got the Goldie Toad plush. Now this probably has to be one of the most popular Toad plushes. It's overall just a really good one in my opinion. This plush comes in 3 sizes, except it's most well known for its small size. And well, overall, for a cheaply made plush, it's actually pretty good because, well, since these plushes sold for pretty cheap, it actually is pretty impressive that they made them out of pretty good materials and made them pretty high quality. As well, his head overall looks pretty accurate, and the plush itself is just pretty well stuffed. The only really bad detail about it is the coat. The reason for this is that the coat's made out of a felt material and has iron on as like the outlines of it, so yeah, it overall just doesn't really look that good in my opinion. They could have made it better out of a plush material, but besides that, it's still overall a pretty good plush. And another detail that's missing on this Toad plush is that it doesn't have soles on the shoes, but yeah, besides that, the rest of the plush is overall pretty good. It also has cardboard in the feet to make it stand up better. But yeah, I would definitely recommend getting this Toad plush, especially because it still sells for very cheap on eBay, like usually only $15 to $20 most of the time, where you can find it in still pretty good condition. Moving on, we have the Sinead Toad plush, which is basically just an improved version of the Mario Party 5 one. As well, as you can tell by looking at this plush, they basically took the Mario Party 5 one and just changed all the details on it to make it look more accurate, and I would overall say they did a pretty good job with it. As well, it was overall made out of a very high quality material and it's overall really well stuffed, and the face is basically fully accurate because, well, the mouth just looks good and everything about the face just looks really nice with the embroidery. The coat's also fully accurate and it's only stitched on, so that's basically the only detail on the plush that could get damaged, and the shoes are basically fully detailed. So yeah, this plush is overall just really accurate. I can't really find any bad things about it. And in my opinion, to this day, this probably has to be the best Toad plush because, well, Sinead's newer Toad plushes just aren't as good as this one. And well, this Toad plush was also used for the new Super Mario Bros. Wii Toad designs, being the blue Toad and the yellow Toad, which are basically just color variants to this one. And in my opinion, this probably has to be the best Toad pattern that was ever made because, well, they just made it look really good and they made a ton of variants of it. Because, well, they based this Toad design plush on like the cat Toad and the squirrel Toad. So yeah, they overall just did a really good job making this one and they used the design for a while. And well, for the variants of this plush, we have this blue cat Toad, which is overall just a really nice plush, and it basically has all the accurate details to it. And in my opinion, the only really inaccurate part is for some reason Toad's has just really low down on where like the whole face area is. So yeah, it overall just kind of looks weird because the top of his head overall is just really long and it's not supposed to be that big. But besides that, the rest of the plush is overall really well stuffed and it's really nice looking, pretty accurate. And same thing with the squirrel Toad. This one comes in a yellow Toad and a blue Toad design. It overall just looks really accurate and I can't really find any bad things about these plushes. So yeah, overall they just did a really nice job making them look fully accurate to how they look in the game. And well, moving on from the Sine Toad plushes, we have the Jack's Pacific Toad plush, which overall just looks really weird in my opinion. The main reason for this is that he's just really small, so he just kind of looks overall really skinny, and he's overall just kind of really inaccurate. The coat's also made out of a bad material, so yeah, I definitely don't really like this Toad plush, and it's also kind of rare. But yeah, overall, it just doesn't really look that good in my opinion because of how skinny it is, and they could have made this plush a lot better just by making it slightly bigger and giving the plush some more space to make the details on, because all the details just kind of look squished together because of how small the plush is. And they also made a blue cat Toad, which is overall just kind of a lower quality version of the Sine one because, well, this one is basically just a cheaper version of that one. And well, but I'll still say that Jack's Pacific did a good job with it, and they basically have all the details correct on it. But yeah, I would still say that Sine's Toad plushes are definitely a lot better than Jack's Pacific's. And well, moving back to the Sine Toad plushes, we have the All-Star Toad plushes. This Toad plush was used for the exact same designs as the other ones, being the blue Toad and the yellow Toad of these basically just the exact same designs. So yeah, all they did with these Toad plushes is just make them different designs, and they didn't even make any other power-ups, so they just changed the colors to them, which is overall just not as unique as the older Toad plushes. Because with the older Toad plushes, they made them look more accurate in my opinion. They also made more power-ups using them, so they overall just look more unique. So yeah, I would say this one's actually worse than the older one just because, well, the details just don't really look as good, and for some reason he's standing up, so it overall just kind of looks really weird. But yeah, it's still overall a pretty good Toad plush, it just isn't as good as the older one. So yeah, it still overall looks really nice and has basically all the accurate details to it. And well, moving on to the most modern Toad plushes, we have the Super Nintendo World Toad plushes. Now, in my opinion, their normal Toad plush overall just looks really weird because, well, his proportions are just really weird. Because if you notice, his legs are overall just really small and his arms just look way too big, and same thing with the coat. So yeah, his proportions just really aren't that good in my opinion at all. And well, in my opinion, the face just overall looks really weird. They could have done a lot better job on this Toad plush because, well, in my opinion, it just looks off. And especially comparing it to the Sine Toad plushes, I think those ones just look a lot better. So yeah, the normal Toad plush in this Super Nintendo World set overall just kind of looks weird, but the Chef Toad plush is definitely a lot better. As well, it's overall just a really unique plush because no other company has made a Chef Toad plush, and it's overall just a really cool looking one that basically will be never made by another company. And basically all the clothes on this plush are made out of a high quality material, and there's basically only one detail that could get damaged, is that there's iron on the clothes with like the yellow buttons. But besides that, there's no details on this plush that could get damaged, and they also made a keychain version of it, which once again could only get damaged on those yellow buttons. And well, my favorite Toad plush from Super Nintendo World is the Mechanic Toad. And well, overall, they did just do a really good job with this plush because, well, there's basically no details that could get damaged, and it overall just looks really accurate in my opinion. And I would say the only really bad thing about this plush is the face because, well, it's not as detailed as the other ones. But yeah, besides that, this plush is overall just really good. I would definitely recommend getting any of these Toad plushes. Especially the Chef Toad and the Mechanic Toad because, well, they're just overall really obscure variants of these plushes. So yeah, they overall just look really cool in my opinion because they're never released by another company. But yeah, out of all these Toad plushes, which is your favorite? Comment that down below, and yeah, have a great day.